Alright, what's up everyone? Daddy Warbucks here, and today we are resuming our playthrough of the Rime of the Frostmaiden. Karis is the DM through this series, so I'm going to turn it over to her for the recap. Alright, Karis, go ahead.
People who came to 10 towns were outcasts, fugitives, or pariahs in search of a place where they can be tolerated, if not accepted. Some came here determined to make their fortunes. Others come for solitude or to escape notice and stay out of the reach of the law in the southern cities. Today, 400 years after the formation of 10 towns, most folk are here because they were born here, grew up here, and expect to die here. They're fishers, loggers, miners, hunters, trappers, furriers, and traders accustomed to the harsh climate, the slow pace, and the isolation. Like hardy lichens and a determined reindeer of the tundra, residents endure and do what's needed to survive. For over 2 years, though, 10 towns and all of Icewind Dale has been even more isolated from the rest of the world by blizzards barricading mountain passes in the spine of the world and blistering winds churning the sea of moving ice. Despite the doughty resilience of residents, some days it feels as though the lights of civilization here are slowing into a frozen diorama, draped each night by a shimmering curtain of light, a beautiful aurora illuminating the night sky and fading before dawn. Our own intrepid heroes have braved the darkness and weather, setting off cross-country from Bryn Shander north toward Termalaine in search of gem trade. Intersecting with the road from Targos to Termalaine, they soon detoured off of it, following a starving and exhausted loose sled dog to Kelvin's cairn. They spent a full night and day on the mountain, rescuing the remains of an adventure party who ran afoul of a yeti, and finding the fate of those they lost. We rejoin them now, waking after a much-needed rest in the base camp at the foot of Calvin's cairn. Garrett, the rescued adventure guide, is up early, making breakfast, with a miserable halfling, Perilou Fishfinger, nursing a cup of hot tea beside him. And we can unmute everybody.
Probably should have done that already.
Okay, you are free to start your day.
I think to start, we're still at the base of the mountain, right? And we have to get back to town. So I would just be eating just a little bit of the rations I have available and securing everything into my pack. Hey, Dark Mage, thank you for the resub.
Charlie's would wake up
Appreciate you.
and the first thing
Don't you
he'd
be
do
playing
is
the
he'd
game
go
right now?
to his spellbook to sort of prepare his spells for the day. And one of the extra things that he's going to do is make use of this wonderful new gem that I have and place a spell inside. That being the web spell, which I will cast now.
My parlor needs that up in the corners.
Pip is choosing to not get up. He is still in his tent, still bundled up in his sleeping bag, and he is staying in there for as long as possible. It's warm and cozy.
And it's quite cold outside, although the morning is clear.
Landar is already up. He's practicing his techniques, stretches and movements to help mentally prepare himself for the day.
So
Handwise is going to be sitting over by Tally's, watching him deal with his spell book and watch what he's doing. At the same time, I'm going to cast a cantrip, and the corner of someone's tent is now opening to the nice brisk air.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, I also share a tent with Cairo, so I'm sure he's not happy about it either.
It's totally fine. He's fine with it.
As he sees people stirring, Garrett, he's got a porridge and he's stirring in a pot over the fire. I think there's plenty here. I thought you wanted to get an early start, so I got this fixed.
Yeah, I guess if that's all taken care of, maybe we should head out. I mean, the sooner the better. It's still quite a journey left before we reach Termalaine, and I'd rather travel in the light.
Indeed, wouldn't want to be caught out at night in a blizzard.
Yep, there's plenty here. Eat up. Eat up. Anybody got their bowls ready?
Pip, hearing about food, will eventually slumber out.
It's hot. Get it while it's hot. This stuff's going to cool down fast. I'm putting out the fire now so we can leave.
Yeah, Landar goes and gets a bowl real quick.
Yep, Tally's will also have a bowl, grateful for the warmth of the meal.
Anybody who steps past Perry Lou, she's just sitting there huddled. I am never going on an adventure again. No, not going to. I am going to stay. I'm going to stay in town. I'm going to be a town girl. I'm not ever going to do this again. I don't like the wilderness. And she mutters on and on.
Probably for the best. You were pretty useless up on the mountain.
Azathoth, and I kind of hit him. Shut up.
What?
You don't say that.
Why not?
You're
You
supposed to
should
be
know
like,
that she was useless.
I don't know. You're just supposed to.
Her presence put everyone in
It's
danger.
all his fault. He was supposed to keep me safe. The leader is supposed to keep the party safe. This was just a little tour thing. We were just supposed to go up. We were supposed to see I've forgotten even what we were going to see.
That's
Some
right.
sort of creature thing.
Their bodyguards died. Didn't we totally extort these guys?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we're like, oh yeah, well, just give us your stuff.
Yeah.
and
You
we'll
want to make
guide
it
you
home
instead.
safe? You better give me a little something for protection. You know what I'm saying? It's a. It'd be unfortunate if you fell into an accident on the way home. You know what I'm saying?
The
I
tons of
can't get back
dangerous,
to
you know?
Targos soon enough.
Hit a button.
I can't wait to get back to Targos. I'm never gonna leave it again.
Wait, Targos. Oh, that's right. It's okay. Are
She's from Targos, yes.
Are we taking them to? Because it's been a while. I don't remember. Are we taking them to Targos, or are we just taking them to Termalaine? At which point they could hop on the road and travel on their own.
So go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I thought, as I remember, the agreement was that we were going to travel with them to Termalaine, so that they had protection out in the tundra on the road. They'll probably be
Safe,
fine,
yeah.
and they can, yeah.
Okay.
But
Good.
then you're going to meet up with them at Targos later to get the payment that she agreed to.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't like that. But
You
okay.
can escort her. You can escort her the whole way.
Well,
And
I
he
mean,
lives in Targos too, and I never want to see you or your dogs or anything again.
Why don't we just take her to Targos if she's gonna pay us there?
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Otherwise, I'm afraid, given the circumstances of their rescue, I would fear that they might not actually be in Targos when we come to collect.
probably
Yeah,
a
but-
good shout.
The original arrangement was to Termalaine. Wouldn't it be farther and therefore cost more to bring them all the way to Targos?
I only agreed to a flat fee. I'm not paying you by the mile.
I think the point is if we take it to Targos, it
Happy
guarantees our
Ping
money.
Day. Yes.
Yep. That's fine. We'll
Zach,
just, I mean,
oh my God, big
Tourmaline's
brain.
on the way.
That's
so
the
we'll
news
just,
you have to
we'll head to
spread on the
Tourmaline,
server, right?
Do
In order
handle
to
any
continue
business we've got
pinging
there,
me,
and then
they have
head
to come
on
to
to
the stream.
Targos to receive our payment.
Remember how much
Or, I
she
mean,
agreed to?
Follow, subscribe. Those are all paid.
I think it was like $4,000.
And also,
Yeah,
thank you for
I'm
the
sure
subscription,
that's
brother. Appreciate
just
you very
what it
much.
was, yes.
Well, in either regard, let's hurry on to Termalaine. We can debate further there. Or not.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Let's go.
All right.
Just go.
So as you pack up, and Garrett packs up the remains of the base camp and gathers his dogs together and pulls out some spare traces to hook them back up because the one boy had chewed his way through his. And Perry Lou definitely just comes up and sits on his sled. And he sort of really says, we're headed to Termalaine?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Right. So we go down this way. He starts you all off. Now, how far are we from? Okay, so Termalaine to Targos is on the road. Is 4 hours. We're not on the road. So yeah, it's gonna take a good 8 hours to get down there. But that's totally doable. It's early in the morning. The sun isn't even up as little as it goes up in this dim winter twilight. So it's still pretty dark out here. And as you head out and you go down past the foothills, down in alongside the northern tip of the Dwarven Valley, and off to the northwest of you, you see a bright light that kind of flares out and flickers and then retreats back in. And you continue on. It's a fairly clear day, and so you're making good time. And as you stop about lunchtime, you see the flaring light glow bright, so very bright, and it seems closer. And Perry Lou says, "What is that? What is that? That shouldn't be out there. That shouldn't be out there. Should that be out there?" And Garrett shrugs and says, "Well, I mean, sometimes there are. Some people say they're spirits. Some people say it's electrical effect. Some people say it's Aura walking along the tundra." "You didn't tell me that. How come we didn't see that earlier?"
What's the distance from us to these lights?
The light, it's really hard to tell. But it is, I mean, it seems to have tinges of like the aurora around it. It starts out as dim in colors, and then it gets very, very bright, and then it kind of dims back down. And you don't really have a reference point to tell. You don't know how big it should be, and you don't see whether it's, in front of or behind something else, so you don't have a perspective on it, you really don't know how far away it is.
Should we even be worried about investigating this at this point? We should probably get to Termalaine so we have other cargo not getting involved or benefactors dying.
Well, is it like on the path that we're traveling, or is it like off to the side?
Up here. Up toward the north.
We could go around.
I say we should just quickly walk by it. With Linda, we shouldn't get involved,
And you
especially
come
Seems
down.
seems like a bit of a detour, because like instead of going like that, we'd be going like round like that to get to it.
And as you come nearby, you come up along the edge of the forest, which after the bleak tundra that you've been coming through, it's kind of welcome to see something besides the tundra and the mountain. And you come down along towards the lake as you approach the lake. And Termalaine is quite a pretty town. It is quite a pretty town as you come into it. You get down off the hills and come into that. Let me move you to the Termalaine, if I can find Termalaine. Targos. Termalaine. Here, I'm going to move you to the mood map for Termalaine. As you come down, you see this very pretty town on the side of the lake. It is late afternoon. What little daylight there you had is starting to fade a little bit.
We should start heading towards the place and hopefully find some lodging before it gets too dark.
Indeed. Can probably handle whatever business. I'm sure everything doesn't just shut down when it gets dark, since it stays light for just a short period of time.
And I shall move you to the town map of Termalaine.
We're entering from the north,
Okay.
right? From like the
Garrett at least knows. I mean, he's been at many of these towns, gathering the adventure parties, and he points out that over here on the edge, as we come into town, is the east side, and that's a pretty decent inn. If we want lodging, that would be a good place to go. And Perro's going, I want a hot bath, I want a soft bed, don't even want to see any of you people again.
very rude for someone who has saved your life and has now escorted you home.
Ah, that's a problem. The tokens are not on the map. Black screen. Thank you for telling me. Let's turn off the lighting. I thought I had that turned off, but no, apparently not. Better?
Yes.
Ta-da!
Wow.
So that's where the ping is for the east side. And so you'll be coming in on this road here. So it's going to be quite next to the road. Oh, well, road. The little bit of a trail as you come into town.
Sounds good.
Yeah, can we hurry up inside? It's freezing.
So you come into the east side and stamp the snow off of your shoes and start looking around. It's a nice It's a nice, pleasant place. You can see behind the desk that looks like there's a common room. This doesn't seem to have a public common room. So the first thing you're going to see is kind of a desk area where there is a human woman sitting there. It's very, well, woman, girl, perhaps. She seems quite young. And you see her down there, and she's going through some what looks like possibly papers or scrolls or some sort of document things, and she seems to be humming to herself.
Miss?
Oh, yes, hello. Do you need accommodations?
I believe we do. A room to accommodate 6, please. Or 6 individual rooms, whatever is the setup here. He says just kind
It's
of
much easier. So this is kind of a reasonably comfortable and a little on the modest side. It's like I can give you a single room for just the 6 of you, at quite a reasonable price for only 2 gold pieces for the night, and that includes both your supper tonight and breakfast in the morning.
I'll just pay her the 2 gold pieces for the group.
Excellent, thank you. Let's see here. So if you go up the stairs, right over there, and it will be, let me see, it will be the 3rd door on the right, kind of overlooking the back. And supper will be served, let's see, I think it should be served well, I think they're actually serving now. So anytime you get settled in, you feel free to come down, and we'll be serving well into the evening if you like. Is there anything else you need?
Yes, a quick question, if I may. Where would be the best place to go and sell or acquire gemstones, specifically diamonds? I hear that Tourmaline is the place to be if such is our business.
Oh, well, it normally is. However, the mines have been closed down, but some of the traders, I'm sure, will have stocks of gems. Let's see. There is Richard Elfson, who has he has a little shop on the market square, and then there is Twinkle Star, which sells a variety of gems, and they might still have some. Well, they're also on the market square. Basically, they're all on the market square, I think.
Can you give us directions to this market square? I actually have a variety of things I need to unburden myself of.
Oh, yes, certainly. Well, from here you go out onto the trail, and then you take the 3rd left and head on until you get to kind of a main sort of boulevard, and then you turn right. And after you turn right, you're going to head down towards the port, and well, you should be able to hear it from there, but there is going to be kind of a left near the end towards the port. But by then you should sort of need, yes. By then you should sort of need to well, you'll see it there, I'm sure.
So we wander directions until we hear sounds. Great.
Well, I mean, you could just, if you come out here and cross this road here, and then just head straight, you can kind of see, but it's not quite as obvious when you turn at the miller's house. Although you might be able to tell it's the miller's house, and then you turn right and head towards the port that way. And it's simpler directions, but it's a little further.
Right, so head towards the port.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Would those merchants be out and about around this time, or do you think they're about closed up for the night?
The peak of shopping time is kind of in the midday when it's somewhat light out. but I do think they've been trying to get. I heard something about a town meeting thing, and so I think things are going to be open a little later tonight and tomorrow night. So you might be able to do that now. You probably have time to catch some dinner first before you go there.
All right. So what's for dinner then?
I believe we are having trout stew. Our cook has a very deft hand with the seasonings on it, so it has a nice light flavor, and you can still taste the fish.
Wait, what kind of stew?
The knucklehead trout.
Ugh,
It's a local delicacy.
yep, it sure is.
And Pip, you suddenly notice yourself kind of scrunching. There's something cold going down your back, the back of your neck, and down into your shirt.
I immediately turn around. Who's sitting there behind me?
You don't see anybody immediately behind you.
Did I see Andwise earlier picking up ice cubes off the floor?
No.
Well then,
He's just
Okay.
he's not even right behind you. He's kind of over off to the side, I think.
I'm gonna shake my
Landar's
shirt.
behind
Get
you.
all the-
Are you okay, Pip? You're
Landar,
acting weird.
Yes, Pip.
Landar, did you put snow down my shirt?
Why would I have the need to put snow down your shirt?
Well, if you didn't, then who did?
That is a good question. Who would be so sneaky enough to put snow down your shirt and then blame me?
Well, I mean, he didn't blame you. I'm blaming you.
Well, yes, but it seems that I'm just more of a patsy than anything else. And then Landar just walks away.
Is there something else you all need? I directed you to the room. I directed you to the common room. I directed you to somewhere. Was there something else?
I think we'll take a meal and some drinks.
I'm gonna turn to the people that we were escorting. Are they still with us, or did they just go to their house?
Well, we're in Termalaine, not Targos. So,
Oh, right. Sure, I knew that.
So Garrett is standing behind all of you, and he seems to be sort of waiting until you guys move out of the way.
Oh, well, I will let them through then.
And as you guys all start moving out of the way, she counts and says, "Oh, there's actually 8 of you. Well, I think all 8 of you would fit in that room." And Garrett starts to say something.
Yes, you're welcome to stay with us, friend.
And so they follow along. And Perilu looks quite unhappy about this, but she doesn't actually say anything for a change. So you go up, you get into the room. There's a nice room. There are, it looks like 3 large beds that would hold 3 or 4 people each in the room. There's a couple of trunks that could be used either as tables or for putting things in. There is floor space in the corners where you can drop your packs and things. So it looks like there's also space next to the beds for people who prefer keeping things a little closer to them. It seems a nice space. Are you going to leave your things there?
Yes.
No.
I am immediately dropping all of my gear. I do not want to carry it any longer.
Tally's travel's pretty light anyway for the most part, so he'll keep his backpack with him.
Landar's dropping everything except not the bloodstone to put in his pocket to take with him.
I am not dropping anything, because I intend to sell everything I don't mean to carry.
Okay. And then are you headed down to the common room for supper before you head out, or are you heading straight out to the marketplace?
Food and then marketplace.
Agreed.
The burden of carrying all this heavy equipment doesn't bother me. Flex my muscles.
Down in the common room, there are a few people in there. There's sort of a half-elf woman off on one side, and there's a dwarven couple kind of over in the corner, and a couple of humans. It's not even, it's lightly populated. There are some people here. And there's a somewhat older woman who it looks to be doing the serving, and she sort of sees as you come in and sort of does a quick head count and then gestures you over to a fairly large table. You want the soup tonight?
Does it have meat in it?
It has the trout in it, yes. And we have some very fresh bread.
I would love a bowl of both.
Do you guys serve anything else besides fish stew?
I have, well, I have some cheese that we could put in.
Could I just have cheese with bread? Just the two.
Yes, I can do that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Soup? You wanted the soup?
Soup for me, thank you.
I've
Good
already
bread.
eaten quite a bit of trail rations up. Just have the bread.
The bread, lovely. Okay, and she bustles off. And what do you do at the table while you're waiting for her to come back? And Garrett and Perilou are with. Yes, Perilou's with you too.
I'm gonna glower at them. Just stare.
At whom?
What? Garrett and Perilou.
Okay, the other people.
Tallies is just sat there with his notebook out, writing some more notes. He's got an idea for some new sort of combinations of spells, how to change new spells when he gets them to have some slightly different effects.
Pip is just going to act very bored. He's just
Landar
gonna
will
kind
actually
of-
speak up to Perilou and Garrett and be like, "Must be not. It's like it must be a good feeling to be out of the tundra and into a nice warm building once again."
It definitely is at that. And Perilou says, I'm so cold I don't think I'll ever be warm again. She is determined to be fussy. Uh-oh.
What happened?
We probably look all messed up. There we go. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, we probably look all messed up because we lost him briefly. Okay, there he's
You'll
back.
have that.
Okay, fruit basket upset, all clear.
Pip is
Okay.
just going to trace his fingers through the grains of the wood, acting very bored, waiting for his food.
Food comes and the soup it actually has some root vegetables in it in addition to the fish. It not that different from every fish stew you've had everywhere in 10 Towns. The bread though is nice and fresh and reasonably light, and also the bread is actually quite good for those who have it. The cheese looks well, kind of old. It's probably not older than you are. Satyrs are live to be quite long, but it's.
Mm. You just gotta kind of like pick around, like try to just not kind of act. It takes maybe a little nibble of it, and then just kind of eats the bread.
Okay, it's cheese. It's not moldy. I mean, more than cheese is, of course. So as your meal goes on, I mean, you hear quiet murmurs of the other people around. Do you eat with some dispatch? Do you linger over your food?
Charlie's just. I mean, he's still, well, even while he's eating, he's still sort of making notes and kind of murmuring to himself as he does so, and just kind of occasionally just stops to grab a spoonful and then continues writing. Anybody that looks at what he's writing, it looks like utter nonsense. Like you can't make heads or tails of a single word on the page. But he seems to know what he's doing.
Callie, what are you writing? Are you drawing? What are you?
Just new theories and such about how to, manipulate magic and make it do things that are conventional wizardry doesn't always allow you to do.
Are those even letters? What? What
Oh,
are you putting in that?
I tend to write my notes in a cipher. That way, the last time I came up with a theory of ways to sort of advance the knowledge of magic, my work was stolen by a rival and published in his name. So I had to start again from scratch, which is why I'm out here. So I developed a cipher. That way, anybody that tried to steal my work would find it incredibly difficult to be able to figure out what exactly it is that I'm doing.
Couldn't someone just decipher it?
Here, try. I kind of hand my book over to him.
Is there any possible way I could even attempt to make anything out?
It's an intelligence check.
And
I'm great
even
at those.
and even then,
Yeah, it's quite a high check.
It would take you time to figure out what kind of cipher too. But you're welcome to make a check if you're curious.
I would like to attempt to decipher it. Just a intelligence.
Yeah, it's straight.
Is it anything?
Yeah, intelligence check.
Mhm.
It doesn't say to use a stat. It just says intelligence.
In an attempt to help myself. Actually, I'm just gonna roll intelligence.
That is a fail.
12.
Yep.
Well, I think that one looks like an A. Is that an A?
Can't even
that one-
tell where the
symbol right
breaks. You can't even tell where the breaks in words are. If there are even breaks in words.
I think you don't know what it means either. I think you're just making stuff up. I think you're just bored, and this isn't. You're making excuses to draw doodles.
This bread is pretty good. Wait, what's going on?
I just think you're struggling, but who knows? Maybe one day when I publish it into an actual, my Magnus opus, you'll be able to read it, and obviously I won't be writing it in a cipher then. Once I have everything finished.
Well, you better send me a copy of it.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
And so as you finish your meal and you stand up to start moving out, the half-elven woman over on the side seems to notice you doing that. And she sort of scrambles up and she comes up to Tolly's and touches his arm. I'm sorry, did I see you writing notes? Are you some sort of writer?
Well, I'm not a writer per se. I am a scholar, however. I know my way around a pen.
He's actually an artist. He's trying to draw.
You know, I am something of a researcher as well. What is your subject?
Use of language within the arcane realm.
That is
And
so interesting.
how use of language can alter the very nature of spells.
Really? My subject is I have a hypothesis. I think that actually the Chwingas, with their ability to change their natural surroundings, I think they have something to do with this never-ending winter. And I'm working on a scientific research project to try and prove it.
I see. Well, once you finish it, feel free to send it to Candlekeep. In fact, attach my name to it. That way, if I can, I'll read it, and if it's good, I'll see if I can pass it on to somebody.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that you think those tiny little things can somehow overpower Oral's magic?
I'm so sure that it is Oral's magic. Oh, and we're fruit basket upset again. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure it is Oral's magic, because I mean, why would she just, and especially just this one area and all, you know, I mean, deities have got bigger things to worry about and all, but you know, I have noticed how the Chwingas can change the natural environment around them, and I think that if they've got enough of them, that they actually could do on this kind of a scale. And you know, people just think that because they're small that they're really pretty powerless and weak and all of that, but I think that people might be surprised and that they actually have a big effect.
Wouldn't there need to be one within
I would
every
not
5
attach
feet?
your name to this project. She's clearly insane.
Insane?
Wouldn't, like, what would be the purpose, though?
Well, what would be
I
the
mean, if you
purpose of
said a
Oral
deity-
doing it?
The same argument could be made for the Chwingas.
Who are we to
Oral
try and
doesn't have to.
understand the whims and musings of gods and goddesses? Maybe
the
she just
Chwingas
wants to
like-
see us suffer. But there's no way that those tiny spirits could ever overwhelm the magic from a deity.
Indeed, I think,
Tallies, I think-
even if they were to try and affect an area that large without Oral's magic being in the way, there'd need to be one, maybe every 10 feet? I don't think there's even space for that many of them around.
Every 10 feet.
Sorry, I didn't hear the start of that sentence.
How do you know they aren't every 10 feet?
I mean, do you see any in the tavern? I'm gonna look around. Oh, man, I don't appear to see any.
I have a lantern that can detect them. I'm gonna go get that, and I'll show you. And she bustles off towards another.
Guys, I think we should go before she gets back.
Well, yeah, I think we do have some business to take care of, don't we?
Wait, hold on. The Chwingas, you know, she might be crazy, but the Chwingas are helpful and have been so far in all of our journeys. This lantern could be useful. And I kind of look over to Andwise. Give him a little nod.
Have we seen Chwingas yet on our journey?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
They gave me the blessing where I can make magic snowballs.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was the
okay, I
awakened.
remember
There was
now.
the one awakened hare that was running away from the fox that a Chwinga was riding, and it ducked in and took shelter in one of your tents.
Yep.
Okay,
and there's
I
that one
remember
too.
now.
And it takes a couple of minutes, and she's standing waiting. And then she does come bustling back, and she's got it. And she says, I have been dying to find one up close, and I haven't found one yet, which, so yeah, you're probably right. They probably aren't every 10 feet. But I want to see them up close. I mean, haven't you noticed that they sort of changed the area around them? And she's got this kind of lantern that she's carrying. No, you haven't noticed?
No, see, we've met Chwingas, but never saw them do that.
But they've already changed the environment to suit them. It's cold. Haven't you seen that?
Oral did that.
But and not only that, but we're in the far north. It's of course it's cold.
I've been wanting to get get one up close so I can actually study the effects and see how it is. I mean, this is a hypothesis that needs to be tested.
Well,
You said you've seen Chwingas?
I have a suggestion for you then. Maybe something that could help you. Yes,
What's that?
we have seen Chwingas. We've even befriended one and received a gift of sorts. So I propose if you give us your fancy lantern, my friend here, the nerd with the book, will record everything, and then we will give it to you when we come back this way.
Excellent. I would be willing to pay you 25 gold pieces if you could even entice a Chwinga to come talk to me as well, so I can also have some direct observations, because, just having one person doing the observations is not sufficient. You have to be able to reproduce the results.
Of course. Oh, yeah. What you said, reproduce and all that. So we'll get your fancy lantern to find the Chwingas, and then you'll pay us for research notes and shit. Yeah.
Yes. That sounds wonderful. That sounds perfect. So I'm staying here in Termalaine for about the next 3 days, and then I'm planning to head to Bremen. I'm heading to Bremen. I've been hearing some odd things, and I've got a research project I want to try over there too. And you should be able to find me at either the local inn, that's a really small town, or at the tavern. I do frequent the local taverns and all. You should be able to find me pretty easily.
We'll definitely come and find you. What's your name again?
Oh, my name is Danica. I'm Danica Greysteel.
Do you have any other equipment we could use to help find Chwingas? I mean, I'm sure the jar isn't your only thing. Or
well, no,
lantern.
this lantern, it illuminates elementals, actually, is what it does. But the Chwingas actually are elementals, and so that's quite convenient. It will highlight them.
Where did she say she was going after Termalaine?
Bremen.
Doesn't matter.
What do you mean doesn't matter?
No, so yes, of course.
No, that was not a character.
I'll just be taking this now, and I start reaching for the lantern.
I mean, you said you were in many areas. I'm sure we would find you regardless of
Hey,
where we
it's an
were.
actual thing.
It is an actual thing. So it has about enough oil in it for about, I think, I did use it some, but it's probably about 2/3 full, maybe half full. And you can always add more oil to it, of course. It just works and all. But I want those notes. Be sure you bring me those notes. Are you good at taking notes? And she leans in kind of towards Thales.
Yes, I am.
Excellent. I knew you were a kindred spirit when I saw you come in. I just knew it. I'm so excited. People who've actually interacted with Chwingas, everybody thinks I'm daft. And here, this is wonderful.
I'm going to kind of lean into Tally's. So are you going to write those notes in a cipher too? Or are you just going to write it normally?
Lantern of tracking elementals. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the benefit of the cipher that I use actually allows me to save space. So whereas a normal word might say take 6 letters, the cipher only takes 3. So I'm able to maximize the amount
that clever?
of space
I have
that
had
can use.
such a problem using so much parchment and trying to get more.
Okay,
I don't suppose you'd be willing to teach me your cipher.
Ooh.
I'm afraid not.
I might.
But I'm sure you can develop your own.
Now
It's
that
really
I
not
have
that
the idea, I'm
difficult.
sure I can. Yes, I'm
Well,
sure I can. I'm so
we're
delighted I
gonna
can meet
go
with you.
find the Twingas.
Excellent.
Maybe they're in the
I'm so
market
happy.
square.
Be sure to check. Although if you guys are Twinga magnets, I'm sure you'll be successful on this. You might even catch me here later today.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I haven't finished my supper yet, so I'm going to go back to the table. So I'm so glad I met you, and have a good evening.
Yeah.
You too. It was a pleasure.
I'm gonna kind of whisper over to Azathoth. You don't ever plan to give that back, do you?
Nope. If it actually works.
What if? So what happens if we run into her again?
We just we haven't found any yet. We'll keep looking. Thumbs up. Walk away.
Okay, so you guys are walking down towards the marketplace.
Yes.
As you kind of get to the kind of open area of the marketplace, you can hear a young boy standing on a box thing, sort of calling out the news in a very bored tone of voice. And as you come in, he's part of the way through it, and you hear the end of something about a town meeting. And he goes in, and the mine has been closed by the speaker. Anyone who thinks that they can clear out the monsters from the mine, please talk to the speaker in the Blue Clam Inn. And the kobolds are planning a protest about not being goblins and being tired of being blamed for everything. And the goblins are planning a counter protest, and this will be tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. because the goblins are tired of being blamed for being kobolds. And if you want to have a say in that conflict, feel free to show up there. Marta of the East Side Inn is offering a reward for the return of her ring fur-lined with white otters around the side. Back to the top. Tonight is the town meeting regarding the sacrifice to Oral. If you want to do that, meet up at the Blue Clam in about half an hour. Oh, good. I can stop yelling that soon. And regarding the sacrifice. The mine has been closed by the speaker. He's offering a reward if you want to get clear of the monsters out of the mines.
Boy.
Be sure to talk to him at the Blue Clam. The kobolds are put... What?
You said there was a reward?
Yes, there's let's see. The mine is closed down by the speaker. Anyone there's a reward offered for anyone who can clear the monsters out of the mine so that we can reopen it. Yes. Any interested party should talk to the speaker at the Blue Clam Inn. Speaker Mastu.
Isn't that also where the town meeting is?
Yes, that is where the town meeting is regarding the sacrifices to Oral coming up here in a few days. And
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night there's going to be the kobold protest outside of it with.
No. Skip that bit. What about that ring? What was that about?
Let's see. He cycles his way back. Oh yes. Marta at the East Side Inn has offered a reward for her ring. It's a fur-lined ring with white otters around the outside. And then cycling back to the top, there's the town meeting, and he's saying this all very loud.
What are you doing out here? Why are you standing on a box and just repeating the same thing?
It's my
do you get paid for this?
Yes, they pay me 3 coppers a night for doing this. It's my job. I'm the town crier.
If I give you a silver, will you shout over and over, Pip is dumb and smelly?
I absolutely
I-
will. I will add it to the list. These are my duties, and I take
Wait.
them very seriously. This is my civic
I'll
pride.
give you a counter author. If you do the same
Author?
thing but replace Pip with Azathoth. Dang it!
Killed him. Aren't you supposed to be good with words?
I am not. I'm foreign. Wow, I don't need this.
In any case, and he goes back to his spiel about, let's see, I forgot where I am. The mines are closed down by Speaker Matthew
Yes,
because
monsters in the mines. Yep.
Holly's puts up just like a mental wall against this assault of noise coming from this child.
and you can see the other people around have kind of done the same thing, and they're pretty blatantly ignoring him.
I'm gonna move on. So do we head to this?
Oh, I
inn?
should put the party token out here.
And
Well,
do we
I guess
head to
if
this
we
inn
head
and
to the
see
market
what's
first
what, or do we conduct our shopping first?
I wouldn't mind heading to the market first, just because finding this stall that I can swap this for.
Oh, no.
Well, it'll give me access to a spell that I have that'll be quite useful, especially if we're going to clear out some more monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. You guys are right about here.
We can also sell our bloodstones, can't we?
Yes.
That also...
Actually, that's part and parcel.
I've got
I
a
need
ton
to
of stuff
trade
to
my
sell.
bloodstone for it.
And you all have the ability to move the party token. So the kid is going on with his spiel, except now he's gotten himself a little bit tangled up, and the monsters have overrun the East Side Inn, and Marta's offering a reward for kobolds, and you
So-
guys got him off his spiel.
I can see why he gets
so
paid
ta-
3 copper.
Wait. Tell me the bit about the reward for killing the kobolds again. That sounds interesting.
And he looks at you blankly. What? Okay. So you guys want and Garrett and Perilou did not come with you for this.
They're gonna bail.
I don't think they're going to go out like in the middle of the night.
The middle of the night. And it's mid-evening.
It's fair. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so what are you guys looking for?
Traders.
Stall that sells diamonds.
You are looking for gem stores. Okay, does anybody remember the names I gave you earlier?
Hell no.
That Marta gave you?
Nope.
Good, I don't either. I should have made notes.
Now you can. No, that just means you can make up some more.
I can make up some more notes. Okay, so wandering around, you see some of the shops, and you do see one shop that has a little symbol by the door of a hammer. And next door to that, you see a blacksmith. And next door to that, you see one that has a little symbol of a gemstone. And next to that, there's one that's got a symbol of a fish and smells very fishy. Next to that is another
We
store.
don't go that far down the street. As soon as we see the gemstone, we go in that door, or at least Tally's does.
Well, I think we all would. We all have a bloodstone to get rid of. So yes, let us collectively, as a group, go talk to the
We're all
gemstone.
gonna go barge in this small stall or building.
Yeah, we all
It's a
slap
small-
a pile of
it's a-
gems on his desk and run him into bankruptcy.
It's a small sheltered, it's an actual store that's been sheltered in. Although it looks like it used to be a market stall that they've that jury-rigged walls have been added to and all, and it looks weathered, so this wasn't recent, and all. And you get in, and there's a gnome sitting there, sitting with his hand on there. He sort of perks up as you kind of come in, and then a thought crosses his mind, and he slumps back down again. Can I help you?
We have lots of gems.
Do you? I've been short of gems. Come in. What can I get you? You have gems for sale? I have gold I can buy.
Oh, good. Here, and I'm gonna thrust the bloodstone at him.
I will do the same.
Know me first.
Just chuck him at him.
And I have completely forgot. The bloodstones were worth 50 gold each, if I recall correctly.
That's what it says in my notes.
Okay, excellent. He looks at this and he says, "Oh, very fine specimens, very fine specimens." And how many of you have plunked bloodstones down in front of him?
Landar did as well, so that'd be 3 at least.
Do we have? We have 5.
We have
6.
There were 6 of them.
We have one
we
each.
have one.
Yeah, everyone
There
has
were
one.
6 originally.
Yeah, Tally's has his, but he's not putting it in front of him because obviously he's not just
You want
wanting
to trade?
sell his for gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks at, "Oh, these are pretty nice specimens. Yeah, I've seen some similar ones coming out of the Dwarven mines. Yeah, I'll offer you 35 gold each."
What?
But they're
You
worth
just
50.
said they were worth
At least
50.
that's what we were told.
Well, I mean, retail value, of course, but I mean,
Now, surely.
to make a profit, I've got the overhead on this building and this shop here, and I've got to feed my family on these trades. I can't just trade.
That's true. But you're short of gems, right? So wouldn't it make sense to buy them for 50 gold and
Demand
sell
is
them
higher.
for
That
60?
means you can pay us closer to the retail value, and you can also sell them for higher because they're in more demand. We can both.
I'll
walk
take
away
40 for
winners.
mine.
About 38 as he turns to Pip.
39.
Done.
You're not very good at this.
Done. Hey, I got 39 gold. You have a gem.
Well, now that the idiot is done, how about you actually make us a better offer?
Offer, but I mean, my family is going to starve here. It has been so hard. I mean, first of all, the trade is way down, and then the mines have been
need
shut
food?
for.
I have food that I can give you to help compensate. I was just going to sell it down at another stall. I actually have here, and I pull out the half wheel of cheese that we took from the mountain. I have this, and I actually have this flask of water that you're welcome. Oh, and some wine that would pair very well with the cheese.
And he looks at all this and goes, "Okay, well, let's see. Stacking this up, 42 gold for the lot."
Works for me.
Okay, so gem and wine and water.
And cheese.
Cheese. Okay. Sounds
Landar would
like I
take,
should be cutting this.
yeah, Landar would like to take same deal that Pip got for his stone.
Okay. And he's got his lockbox out, and he very carefully counts out the gold for you. Excellent. I haven't done so much trade in weeks. Ever since that blasted mine shut down. Anyone else?
While you conduct your business, what can you tell us about that mine shutting down?
Oh, well, I'm not too sure. I know that I mean, a couple of miners went missing, and somebody said it was overrun by kobolds, and somebody said it was swallowed up by a lake monster, and I don't know. I know Speaker Matthew.
So these
closed
children
the
that
thing
went
down
missing,
and-
where?
Children?
Yeah, you said a bunch of miners. They went missing.
Oh, I think they're full adults.
Oh, I was very confused why you let children in the mines.
Well, I mean, you know, survival as it must, and there's some of the small places that they can get to that others can't. So there are youths who do work in the mines. I'm not proud of it, but it is true.
Oh,
But I think the two that I know of who went missing, I think were adults.
And
What did you want to know about them? I think.
Well, you've actually already answered my question. I was going to ask if we knew what the trouble was over there, but you said something about lake monsters and kobolds, and it seems like nobody really knows what's what.
Except that it seems to be kind of dangerous, yeah. And the speaker closed mine out. I don't know. I just trade the gems. Usually they're already cut by the time they come to me. I don't generally take raw gems, but
Right. Yes. Of course. Well, let me not stand in the way of your business. And I just kind of let everybody else do what they got to do.
Tallies is actually going to look at the stock of gems that he has and see if he has any diamonds.
you don't see any gems out.
Okay. In that case, he's gonna. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So Tallies will go to him. You don't happen to have any diamonds, do you?
A
Small ones.
few. I have. I think I have 2 small ones. Let me check. And he pulls out unlocks a thing, pulls it out, and starts through. And he's got a couple of very small chip diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a couple of very small.
Okay. I'm going to look at them. How much do I think they're worth?
You don't think they're enough for your spell?
Okay. I'll say no. I could do with some, maybe just a touch larger than that one. Well, than those that you've shown. You wouldn't happen to know another trader nearby that would have likely have them in stock, would you?
Likely in stock, since the mines have closed down. There was kind of a run on gems of the traders, and there hasn't been much left. I mean, you can ask around. I can point you to a couple of other traders, but I don't know that they've got any more than I do.
Sure. If you give me the names and the directions, I'll go speak to them.
Okay. Well, there's the Stuart Brothers, who are kind of right across the alley and a couple doors down. You can't really miss them. And there's that Twinkle Toes fella. He is kind of around the corner to the left. And he's got kind of a glitzy thing in front of his stall. You can't miss him.
Okay.
I think those are the only 2 currently open.
Okay. Based on the directions, I'll go to whichever. Well, I'll say, well, thank you for your help, and I'll just kind of turn and leave, and head to whichever one's
He
closest.
carefully secures his relocks up the trays.
I'm gonna follow with Tallies. Tired of being in the store. Get a move on.
Ooh. Is there anybody else that still needs to sell their stuff?
Endwise is going to follow Tallies as well.
Okay. So for just basic stuff you want to sell, assume you can find merchants around general store or stuff like that and do trading for
Half listed value? PHP
half listed
standard?
value. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
For half listed value to take that offline. Tallies. So you went to the Brothers one that was just right across the street?
Yeah. Good evening. I know it's getting on a little bit, so I'll try and make this as quick as possible. I am looking for a diamond.
Okay, what kind of diamond are you looking for?
Just a small one, and I kind of give a rough estimate as to sort of the size that I'm looking for. Do you have any around sort of this size?
I don't. I have one smaller than that. Well, it's been kind of short on a lot of gems lately.
Yes, so I've heard. Do you mind if I have a quick look? Just maybe if it's of good quality, that'll
Sure.
make
And
it.
Handlocks pulls it out. How
I'll have a look.
how often have you cast the spell before? I don't remember which spell it is you're saving up for.
Well, I realistically never, because I've never had a diamond worth 50 gold to be able to cast a spell.
Is this oh god, I just drew a blank. It's one of my favorites. Level 1, but it
Chromatic
has
Orb.
all the things. Yeah.
Yep.
On the other hand,
So I'm
you
very
are
familiar with the spell.
yeah, you're quite you are very meticulous and very but you don't have a gemstone background. Does anybody happen to be with him? With Tallies?
Both Andwise and Pip said that they were coming with tallies. Specifically, those two.
Okay. Andwise, give me an intelligence check. Okay, you kind of look at it and you scrutinize it pretty carefully, and you look kind of dubiously back up at Tallies and kind of shake your head.
Okay. I'll say no. It really is just a touch too small for what I need it for. But thank you for your time.
Do you have a particular setting that needs it?
No, I'm going to use it as a spellcasting component. But it needs to be of sufficient quality. Unfortunately, this one doesn't quite meet the needs of it. But I appreciate your time. Hope you have a good evening. And I'll head out to Mr. Twinkletoes with his jazzed up exterior.
Jazzed up exterior, sparkles and twinkles, and there might even be a little touch of magic here, making things sort of light up and sparkle. And he comes out and he says, welcome, welcome. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? You in the
Hello.
market for some gems? I have some beautiful stones over here, just in from the south.
Well, I'm actually in the market for a diamond, specifically.
Diamond! I've got several. What do you need in a diamond? I have a nice princess cut one. I've got a raw one. What do you need?
In terms of the specific shape of the cut, it's not tremendously important, but one maybe roughly this size of good quality, and I kind of hold my fingers up to a rough size that I think would suffice.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he pulls out a tray, and he's got several diamonds on there. There's one that's really nice and sparkly. And Andwise, give me an intelligence check. Nice and sparkly and a really good size. Oh, okay. Really nice and sparkly and a good size. And there's one that looks a little rough and is somewhat smaller. And then there's another that's a really rough one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of take a bit of a look at them, and I'll try and figure out if any of them, or which ones of them would be best suited to the task.
And he says, I'd sell you this one for 75 gold, and I can sell you that one here for around 45 gold, and this one here, the raw one that's not cut yet, let's say 35 gold.
Okay. Do I think that the one that he's willing to sell for 45 would be sufficient?
Give me an insight check.
Insight. I mean, he seems to think so. But I'm kind of aiming for, yeah.
I mean, he's, are you looking for some qualities in particular about it?
I'm planning on using it as a spellcasting component, so if it doesn't work, I don't need it.
Well, This glittery one here, it's got magic imbued in it. This thing is perfect for magic.
I want to insight that statement.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know diamonds could have magic in them.
Yep, sounded believable to me.
This thing is perfect. 75 gold pieces. It's a steal. It will enhance all of your magic.
Okay.
I mean, just look at it, how it sparkles.
I'm going to go ahead and I'll have a look at it, and I'll spend some time investigating it. And by spend some time investigating it, I mean I'm going to cast Identify
Wait, do we have a
Okay.
pearl?
and see if it really.
Why did that happen?
Oh, you're right. I don't have a pearl. God damn it.
That's why
Alright, I'm gonna
I
use
asked in
Detect Magic
chat,
instead.
do we need to get a pearl too?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, we do. I'm going to use Detect Magic. Wait, no, I don't think I have it. Oh, no, I do have Detect Magic. Okay, so I'm going to ritual
Okay,
cast Detect
there's
Magic.
a little bit of... There is magic. There is illusion magic sparkling around this thing.
Brilliant. Okay. I will ask, do you mind if I test it? You can, of course, stand with me the whole time to ensure its safety, but I'd like to test it to make sure it works. Make sure it's fit for purpose.
He looks a little uncertain, a little nervous. Yeah, sure. And he lets you.
Okay, feel free to come with me. Somewhere, essentially, that I'm not gonna, cause any damage. Just gonna stand in the doorway or something. Have him with me. Sort of him.
Okay, and he
between
looks
me and-
suspiciously at you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will.
He looks suspiciously at the rest of you, making sure that everything else is locked up.
I'll take first of all I'll take the middle priced one and attempt to cast Chromatic Orb through it, pointed skyward.
Okay.
Have it do let's see. Have it do cold damage because, its effect probably wouldn't be that pronounced, but I'd be able to see if it works.
And a blast of cold shoots up and let's see, Chromatic Orb. Describe your magic to me. Is it nice and big and flashy for Chromatic Orb?
So essentially, I hold the diamond, and the diamond, if I'm doing cold, will suddenly turn completely white, and then ice crystals will start forming around it, and then just it's almost as if the diamond itself shoots out, but then when it sort of looks like it does, the diamond stays in my hand. It's just the cold energy blasts out up into the air.
Okay. And it does with that one.
Okay. I say, well, it looks like this one will do nicely. So, shall we head back inside? It looks like this one will do exactly what I need it to.
Darn. Okay. Yes. 55 gold for that. It's a very effective diamond.
Yeah, unfortunately you said 45 initially, so we'll go with that price. However, rather than you just straight up taking cash for it, I thought maybe I could offer you something else that you could sell. And I pull out a bloodstone.
You're not using cash.
Well, I thought we could trade. See, this bloodstone is worth roughly 50 gold. With your stone being worth 45, you stand to make a profit.
He sort of looks at this.
That's true.
I would give you 37 for this bloodstone.
We give 37. Let me see.
You want to trade it for that diamond? How about this bloodstone and 7 gold?
How about the bloodstone for 3 gold, 5 silver?
Done.
Okay. Hand over the bloodstone.
He hands over the
bloodstone, 3
diamond
gold, 5 silver.
and starts locking stuff back up. Anything else for you fine gentlemen today?
For me, no. That's quite sufficient.
He looks sort of hopefully at Pippin and whoever else is there. I gather Azathoth is there too.
Yeah. Can I see what other wares you have? I actually think that I have the funds necessary to purchase that pearl we were mentioning earlier.
Indeed.
Pearl. Oh, I have some freshwater pearls that are a beauty. Anything in particular? Did you want kind of the pinkish ones? I've got some greenish ones, some very nice ones. What are you looking for in terms of a pearl?
Well, I'm just like the shiny bits, you know. Is there any way I can see these? I've typically only associate pearls with being white in color, but you say you have an array. That's astonishing. Can I see them?
Sure. And he takes the one tray and he puts it in, locks up, and opens up another one and pulls out a tray that has, it's got about 10 pearls of varying sizes and varying colors and slightly varying shapes. Some couple of them are nice, sort of a pear sort of shape, and all looks very nice on earrings.
So I'm gonna approach, right, and kind of stand closer so that I can get a good look. But I'm gonna position myself so that I'm standing between myself, but between him and Andwise, so that he can't really see what Andwise is doing.
Okay. And so he's sort of showing you the proper, the nice benefits of each of them. And I don't remember what. Do you just need a pearl or a pearl of a certain value?
100
For
gold
identifying.
pieces.
Hmm?
It has to be a 100 gold pieces pearl.
Okay.
So as we're looking at these, I would ask, of course. So this one, what would you say this one is valued at?
This is just sort of a common one. Nice. I mean, if you could get a few more like it, it would look pretty good on a necklace or a bracelet or something. But this one's very fine and very rare. This one is, 150 gold pieces, and it's kind of a bluish tinge, a little bit of purple around the side, and a nice shape. Very unusual, this one. And this one over here is a fairly large size. It's a good 200 gold. And then there's this one over here that if you could hit. And Weiss, what are you doing while he's explaining these?
Well, before that, when he talks about the big one that's worth 200, I'm gonna reach. May I?
Hey, you what? And he kind of pulls it back a little bit.
I would just like to hold it, to see it. I mean, you're standing right here with me. It's
okay.
So I'm gonna kind of hold it, and I'm gonna like pinch it in my
And
fingers.
He's watching you like a hawk.
I'm holding it up,
Watching your fingers.
Like almost like I'm looking through it, or I'm holding it up to the light, so that it's very clearly visible to anybody standing near or behind me. I'm gonna say, "Wow, this one is very nice." I mean, that's how exactly do pearls like this one get that coloration?
I mean, the same way they all do. A little speck of grit gets into the oyster and it coats it, and it coats it some more, and it coats it some more. And I mean, that one was quite a large one. Are you going to do some rolling, Andwise? It kind of does, so it's been in the clan. It's a large clan, and it's been in there a while, and it gets lots and lots of coatings, and he sort of glances over to make sure he knows what everyone else is doing.
I'm going to set it back down in the tray and pick another one. And what about the coloration here? And I'm hoping I've left the tray and the large pearl very visible.
All right. As soon as Aztop has the other guys distracted with the pearl he's now looking at, I want to cast a cantrip, and then I want to cast a level 1 spell.
Do I?
Do these have somatic components? They're somatic. Yeah, components.
Yep, and the somatic part is going to be done in Thieves' Cant.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What were you saying? And he looks over at you.
Well, somatic is physical gestures. It's verbal.
Oh, verbal.
Okay,
yes,
right.
you are exactly right. I meant verbal.
They do have verbal. They both do.
Thank you, Spartan. Okay, so So he's looking over you as you're muttering, and he's watching you kind of intently while trying to keep glancing back over at Azathoth.
Nothing. I don't think that the one that he's holding is worth as much as you said it was.
It is. I mean, I have to make a profit. I have to feed my family. Yeah. Get on to the other roll. I knew that was the cantrip. Get on to the other roll. Oh.
I want to change the appearance of a small pebble nearby to look exactly like the one that Azathoth was holding up. I'm then going to use Mage Hand to switch out and swipe the one Azathoth was pointing to, leaving the illusion in its place.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
Wait. Okay, never mind. I was going to try and plead a case that he would have advantage because I'm distracting, but he doesn't need my freaking help. So
yeah, I was gonna.
He's got this.
I was actually just about to guidance him, and then.
Mage Hand. So the substitution is made, and it's like he looks at you a little suspiciously, and he sort of feels sort of a brush or something. He looks back, but he sees the large one there again. And looks back, and you've got it.
All right. Well, I think I'll take this little one here.
Little one.
Yeah.
That one's only worth 20 gold.
Oh no! I meant this distinct 100 gold pieces pearl here. That's the one I want.
Distinct 100 gold piece pearl.
Yeah, this the pink one.
Okay. Show me the gold and I give you the pearl.
I take my 100 gold pieces and purchase the pearl.
Okay.
So to clarify, we now have a 100 gold piece pearl for identify, and we have the big one that is for selling.
Yeah, you do.
Woo!
Anything else I can interest you fine gentlemen in? And he's clearly, now that he's got gold on the table here that he's taking and he's putting things away, he's relaxed quite a lot.
Actually, no. I'm about tapped. Any of you guys need anything, or should we go? We should go, right?
Yeah, I think
we have other business.
I was
That's
just
what
going to
we
make
want to.
sure that he got his diamond that he needed.
All right, well then let's be off. I do have another stop to make before we move on with ourselves. It was a pleasure doing business with you. And...
Have a good evening, gentlemen. Anytime. Come back to Twinkle Toes. Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
As soon as we're through the door, all right, guys, we gotta go. we need to sell this to someone quick.
You realize we're not exactly a group that can blend in well, and I kind of gesture to Azathoth, Cairo, me.
Nor do we need to. Okay, if we can get rid of the pearl before he notices, it's his word against ours, and they have no true evidence that a crime was committed. So let's just move on.
Well, with a sled of 22, I want to know if Pip even saw it.
Well, I'm going to say that with a passive perception of 11, Callies has no idea what's going on. He's just enjoying his. To
be fair, he could have heard the conversation because I did talk to you out loud.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So here's the plan. We're gonna fence the pearl. Then we're gonna find out about the job, and then we're gonna get the shit out of here. Although typically, like currently, only Andwise and Azathoth have actually done anything wrong. Everyone else can. I don't know they did that.
Yep,
that is a good idea. Thank you.
Of course, you would defend our honor, though, right? Right?
No.
That's not nice.
I'll be honest. I mean, you know, as long as I get the things that I need to be able to perform my duty and, you know, keep everybody safe and keep us all going, I don't really care.
So, this is distinctly my pearl, right? Because I paid for it. But anytime you want to cast Identify, I will certainly let you hold it.
Sure.
But I'm broke now until we sell the other thing. I think.
Well, I'll happily pay a little towards the use of it, since it's pretty much going to be me using the spell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll hand you over 25 gold.
That doesn't help. It's 100 gold.
As a top, just take it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you. Of course. Because he doesn't
It's
know
a
about the
Lindis
other
fee.
thing. I forgot about that. I think Kara's went AFK so that she could plot how to hurt us. Oh man. So we could go back to the previous gem store. Oh yeah, totally. By the way,
Wow, that's cruel.
we forgot we had this. Is it something you're interested in? Although,
We should definitely do that.
Have
I
what?
mean, oh, what? Nothing.
That might incriminate us.
No, wait. I know what to do. There we go. Threw earmuffs on her. No, maybe we
Okay.
should,
Well,
we should
So-
carry it out of the town and fence it somewhere else.
Yeah, we should do that because if we do it in the
If
same
we do
town,
it in the town,
she'll
they'll be
definitely know.
Hey, oh, my stuff got stolen. Oh, those jackasses came through. They just sold me this. oh, I'm sorry. My button slipped.
back, I'm back.
I think you had a
Wrong
Wi-Fi
button.
issue.
Yes,
Yeah, some kind
yes.
couldn't hear us. We were talking to you.
Discord glitching. Yes, totally.
That's just where she
Totally.
unmutes the stream. Haha, got you now.
But I have to maintain concentration for 10 minutes. Can we move away from this store, please?
Yes, very fast and very far.
Ooh, I have an interesting thing I can do. If you hand me the large pearl, I'll color the entire thing in black with my quill, because I can write on any surface with it.
Wait, is it permanent?
Yeah, it's permanent until I wave over it and get rid of it.
Okay,
I can
alright, so it
use a
can be.
bonus action to
I didn't know if we were gonna like ruin our payday.
Yeah, I can do that. So I take the pearl and I color the entire thing in black, using my quill, and then it stays like that until I wave my my quill over it and remove all the ink.
Oh man, we make a really good team.
So now it just looks like a random rock.
yeah.
Yeah, just
No, it looks like a black pearl.
like a black. Yeah.
So, are you going to sell a black pearl? What are you guys doing here?
Does that make it more valuable?
Probably not.
We're going
Maybe.
to the Blue Waffle or whatever the inn was called.
Blue Clam
Yeah,
is
that's
the
it.
tavern.
Yes, the mine and everything going on there.
Blue clam. It's not the Blue Oyster Club, is it?
No, Blue Clam
Blue Clam.
Distant cow.
is over here.
Yep. We're gonna go barge in on the town meeting.
Okay, so the common room at the Blue Clam Tavern is lively and bustling, and you can hear some arguing on the sides. And it looks like they haven't gotten around to formally doing the meeting. You see someone who's really important looking, kind of up near one end, who's talking with someone else who looks not quite as important looking, and you see the place is packed. There's lots and lots of people around. and someone's going around trying to, it's like, okay, so we're all going to vote for doing this, right? We're going to do this. And someone comes up to you and says, and what's your opinion on the sacrifice? Which way are you going to vote on the sacrifice? And does this to Cairo. And is looking very earnestly at you. Which way are you going to vote? Cairo? Williamson? There's a person very earnestly in your face. And so which way are you going to vote about the sacrifice?
I have no interest in your local politics or customs.
In here then, and goes on to the next person who happens to be Landar. How about you? You've got opinions. Don't you have opinions? I mean, you're here at the town meeting.
I'm here looking
very
for a
earnestly.
job. I'm here looking for
a job.
Yes, I'm here. Rumors about this mine being closed. I'm curious.
You want to talk to the
find out more.
speaker? You want to talk to the speaker? He up there at the head table. Catch him quick. We're about to start the meeting.
Ah, thank you. And Landar starts heading that direction.
Okay, and so you come up, and
What was there also a lady who lost a ring that was here, or was that at a different building?
That was at it. That was at a different inn, I think.
Okay, different.
Yeah, it was at the east side end.
Isn't that where we started?
It is.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
She just couldn't tell us then, huh?
Well, we'll be going back there for the night.
Oh, true. Well, maybe.
So, Landar, as you're heading over towards the speaker, who's been pointed out to you, you catch the word slave. As somebody's just as you're passing by. It's the only word you catch in a conversation. As you're continuing on.
I immediately stop and take a look to see who said it.
And you see that it's a woman who's speaking very emphatically, and as you start listening, she says, I mean, would you want it to be one of our children instead? At least these people are already of a low status, and it might even be better for them in their condition that they have now. And she seems to be trying to persuade a man who's kind of sitting there going, yeah, but they already have a tough enough lot. Do we really want to add that to it? It's like, well, what else are you going to do? Are we going to go back to sacrificing, food? I mean, this isn't working. You know it's not working. We just, we're cold. And she's continuing on and on in that vein.
So I'll actually step in and my attention's fully diverted at this point, and it just raise up a point. It's like, yes, but what slave would you actually present? I mean, are you going to give him some, or just some meager slave, or are they going to be nice, fat, and healthy? I mean,
well, and she fully embraces you and says, well, we're doing warmth now, and it's not doing us any good. And some of the other towns are doing people. And, if we upgrade to a person, but I mean, who are we going to upgrade in a town as small as Termalaine here? So, but if we do it with the slaves, if we only put the slave names in the lottery, then perhaps we might gain better status, and Oral might finally reduce this whole cold thing.
You do realize that, if other towns are doing people and it's still not working, then people clearly aren't the answer.
Wait, there's slaves here?
And she seems she seems a little taken aback at Tally's response. It's like,
who are you to bring logic?
But what are we supposed? But what are we supposed to even do? And there's more. You can hear more arguing going on. And it's like you hear he's starting to pick up, it's starting to get even louder and louder. And one man is yelling, maybe we just give up the sacrifices altogether. And it's like, no, it's immoral. We cannot go for doing people. I mean, maybe let's upgrade to food.
Think about this. If you're on the sea and there's a storm, if you're in port, and there's a storm coming, what do? You ride out the storm. You can't do anything about the storm itself. You just wait till it's done. Nothing that you do will have any effect on the storm. Think of it that way. Nothing that you do will have any effect on this winter we're having. So you just ride it out, do the best you can until it passes.
Well, if the storm is being caused by Umberly and we toss whoever she's mad at overboard, it's going to stop the storm. See, that's what we mean.
What if she's mad at you?
Then I hope I would do my duty, and I hope I would do it for the betterment of my people.
But when someone
But how
else
do you
just
know
taught
that it's you?
Someone else should what?
Well, I mean, your guys' logic, if someone was mad at you and they're causing a storm, they could just toss you, so then the person isn't mad.
Well, yes, that's true.
But you don't know who they're mad at. So, but just going around haphazardly killing people, hoping it's the right person, I mean, that's just silly.
I will say
Well,
again, it is not our place to question the whims and fancies of the gods. Sometimes you just have to give them a sacrifice.
And that's what we're talking about here, is what should the sacrifice be? I mean, are we just going to shut off all of our hearth fires again this month when it hasn't done us any good? Or maybe we should upgrade to food or even to people. But I mean, I wouldn't want my daughter to be in there and possibly in the lottery for sacrifice, but we could potentially sacrifice slaves. I mean, their lives are already forfeit. Or maybe prisoners, who've been convicted. That might be good too.
Well,
I think
you
that
know,
is the
actually, I
most
heard-
utilitarian outcome. You rid your area of crime, and you have a potential to appease the gods.
See, that's what I've been saying.
As a thought. Now, hang on. I've heard in other towns that actually the most noblest, who have the most wealth, who have lived very heartily, have actually appeased the gods much easier than those of very little and, without anything.
So you think that they should sacrifice the richest people?
I look around at all of us.
After all, rich people are worth more, so, maybe it would go further.
And she looks like
Who's the
she's very
richest person in
actively
town?
considering, and the people there all turn and look towards the speaker. And one of the men just scoffs and turns his back and goes over, and someone else is banging on a table trying to get people's attention. All right, let's bring this thing to order. Are you guys going to try and catch the speaker? It's not the speaker who's banging on the table, it's somebody else.
Yes.
Yep.
You, Mr. Speaker, man, guy, lady?
He's a half-orc.
A moment of your time?
Yeah, what?
We'd like to inquire about this trouble in your mines.
The mines?
Yes.
Can't that wait till tomorrow? I mean, we got this business about the sacrifice we're gonna debate here.
It's just, we thought it was something that we could take care of tonight. If you gave us the details.
Oh, you want to take? Well, I mean, briefly, the largest mine, which is northeast of town, it was. See, there was this group of kobolds that went into the mine, and they forced the miners
Yoda,
out to
holy
abandon
shit.
their jobs, and nobody was actually
How are you
killed,
doing,
but
man?
but
It's
they've
been a
been
while.
too dangerous for us to deal with, and they've been
How's
keeping
the
the
family
miners
life
out, so we
treating
haven't
you?
been able to get back in. And yeah, if you want to clear them out, I've been offering a reward.
Can we inquire as to what that reward is?
The reward is 50 gold.
All right, let's go home, boys.
Okay. And so he's getting back, and they're starting to, there's people out there, clubbing, trying to get people organized together to start the business of the town meeting.
Yep, let's all leave.
I actually
I
wanna
don't get out of
be-
bed for at least 100 gold.
Tally's is going to be the last one out, and he's not going to close the door.
Oh,
Actually, I have not left.
Okay.
Right.
And
Out
Lando,
of everybody that's leaving, Tally's is the left, but still doesn't close the door.
good. All this talk of sacrifice has my stomach turning.
Maybe we should just head back to the inn. Did anyone tell Andwise we were heading back to the inn?
I mean,
I think he knows.
that's where his bed is. He'll make it there eventually.
Landar is with Andwise too, so both of us are still at the town meeting.
I'm sure they'll figure
Okay.
it out.
So, not sure how much detail to go into here. Well, what are you guys doing here at the meeting?
I just wanted to hear exactly what the debate was and what the vote was for.
Okay. So they bring the meeting to order, and it's like, okay, calm down. So, a proposal has been made that this month we're going to try changing our sacrifice. We've been sacrificing warmth and shutting off all of our hearth fires for a night, the night before the new moon, and there's talk of upgrading it. And if we upgrade it, upgrading it to what? There has been talk of sacrificing bread, as I think Kerkonic does, or sacrificing a person, as Targos and Bryn Shander do. Or if we want to try something else, someone has talked about burning possessions as a possible sacrifice. So we are going to open the floor to debate as to what should be done. And the debate carries on with people talking about what one person talks about, what they're willing to sacrifice and can sacrifice, and another person says, no, the sacrifice has to be a true sacrifice. It has to hurt. It has to be painful in order to be powerful enough to deter Oro from this horrible winter that we've been doing. And another one pipes up, what kind of life do we even have anyway here in this inn? And another one says, well, you could head south and get out of it that way if you want to. And it's like, and I've been here for generations, and leave my family and my things. And well, you were just talking, and the argument continues on like this. What are you either looking or listening for?
All right. Like the one lady we were talking to that was talking about sacrificing slaves. Actually, who all stayed with me?
You know what? I think Cairo might be somewhat interested in this debate, and he would stay behind.
Okay, so we have Landar and Andwise and Cairo. Tali's definitely left. Azatoth left. Pip, I think Pip left. Oh, there. Has Pip left, or is Pip still at the meeting?
Oh, Pip has left. He's not sitting through
Okay,
this.
so we have Landar, Andwise, and Talis. I'm sorry, and Cairo. Landar, Andwise, and Cairo.
How high is the ceiling?
15 feet. And this is a fairly large room. I mean, people are packed in here because you got half the town in here.
How close to the front of the chamber are we standing?
That's up to you. You went because you went right up to the front where the speaker was. So it's like, how far did you leave away from the front?
Off to the side, but I'm staying within 30 feet of the speaker.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast a cantrip.
Oh, no.
A loud scream from behind the speaker saying, "No people sacrifices," in a loud booming voice.
Within range that lasts for a minute. Okay. To a scream.
We're totally getting thrown
Okay.
out of town.
So there's a scream there, and there's sort of a shocked silence, and the speaker whips around and sort of is looking behind, and a couple of people look like they're about to pull out weapons, and another woman stands up and goes, "That's right, we are not going to sacrifice people." And another one says, but we need this. And bedlam starts, and you start, and people are starting to get physical with their fists, and one person picks up something from one of the tables and whaps it over the head of someone else, and it is on. Okay, so
Right.
in the chaos,
That loud booming voice is now going to yell, "Enough!"
and
I said, sacrifice.
it isn't even hardly heard, because now the place is so loud with everybody, with yelling and going on, and we've got sort of a mob, and we're starting to get movement, some trying to leave through the door, and it's packed in enough that someone's screaming that they're, it's like, "Help, help, help," and someone else is
Okay,
getting very
so
angry, and
allow
Mr.
me.
Paladin, what are you doing?
Okay, I'm going to basically wade into the crowd and let loose a mighty roar as deep and loud as a leonin can bellow.
Okay, and that brings the people right around you, kind of turn to look at you in a little bit of shocked silence, and the people sort of next to it, the kind of surges that way where stuff has stopped moving here, and you've got two people getting trampled, and the surge is coming towards you. Give me a dex save.
All right, just a moment.
Okay, and so you are sort of caught up in the mass that's going, and you stumble a bit as you're being pushed to the side. What are you doing?
I keep remonstrating with the crowd. Look at you all, so pathetic. You're trying to make sacrifices to appease this god that clearly does not care.
And nobody's hearing you now. It's all loud even around you. I mean, you got an initial shock, an initial stillness right around you, but it's now on and moving. And wise, you're small enough, you're getting kind of moved further and further off into the side, lest you be trampled.
Yeah, I will move to the side. I'm not going to try standing my ground. I stand 3'0". I am not going to try to stand my ground against the crowd.
Are you going to duck under a table or on top of a table or something, or are you just going to go with the flow?
Kind of go with the flow, but move off to the side and still keep an eye on what's going on.
Okay.
With where Kara is now.
Landar, what are you doing?
Lander is just moving between the crowd and weaving his way to one of the edges, closer towards the door that was left open by Tallies. Just in the event that we need to exit, we can do so as quickly as possible.
Okay. And as you're heading that direction, there is kind of a flow of people that are now screaming and trying to escape that is kind of going that way. And part of the people right in front of you are falling down, and other people are starting to trample over them, and you've got kind of a crisis in front of you.
Okay.
I will actually attempt to pick up anybody that I see stumbling towards to where they could be trampled on. I will try to yank them out from underneath the other people as best I can anyway.
Okay, give me athletics. Okay, you are pulled in and are about to be trampled. Are you going to try and get out, or are you going to try what's your defensive move?
That is a great question.
So, Pip, I wonder what's going on back at the meeting.
So the rest of you haven't even gotten more than about a block away, and especially where the door had been left open, it suddenly gets very loud, and this doesn't sound like people arguing type fighting. It sounds like a madhouse and bedlam back there.
And I guess it's getting pretty serious. Hope they're okay. I mean, they do have they have Cairo. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah, speaking of, okay, I'd like to try something else. I
Okay.
think I'm going to roar again, but this time using the Daunting Roar feature listed in the Leonin text. As a bonus action, once per short rest, creatures of your choice within 10 feet that can hear you must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the end of your next turn.
Okay. Let's see. Within how much? What distance are you? 10 feet?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. What's your DC? For your against fright?
13.
Hmm?
The DC is 13.
Okay. Well, there's a fair number of people, a good handful of people, who are suddenly very terrified. There's a bunch of people though that haven't noticed, and they're continuing into the mayhem, and they're now really getting into the brawl. But some of the people are absolutely terrified of you, and the terrified people actually try to run away from you. So they are now adding to the chaos towards the door.
All right, well, hopefully that at least buys me some personal space.
It does buy you some personal space, a little bit of personal space, yes.
Would me and Azatoth and Tallies, would we hear Cairo roar?
Yeah, that one you probably hear as a roar, yes.
Ew.
That doesn't. Was that Cairo?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
was
I've
that
heard him
another-
do that before.
Maybe.
I mean,
we
Maybe
should.
there was another.
Should we head back?
Maybe there's another big cat. I mean,
It might be worth, yeah. Just
I think
make
it's
sure everything's
a little
okay.
foolish to meddle in the affairs of the town, personally. But I suppose
I mean, do
we don't really have anything else on the agenda for today. We can get into a brawl.
So you guys turning
I
around
don't
and heading
like
back?
the sound of
So
that.
Azatoth
We're getting
takes
it a
one
brawl.
hand and puts it on his shoulder. He's got the other arm at like a right angle, and he's like swinging it around, like limbering up. Yeah, all right, here we go. Come on, Pip. We're gonna make a man of you today.
Oh, please,
All
if
right,
there is a
I
cat,
would like-
someone help.
I want to cast Minor Illusion again. I
Okay.
want to imitate Cairo's roar coming directly from Landar.
What's your range on that? Because Landar's over closer to the door, and you're not. 30 feet.
30
Yeah,
feet?
he's not within 30 feet of you. He's
All right,
probably.
hit his
I'm gonna
spot.
say he's about. I'm gonna say he's about 45 feet from you. This is a large room, and he's kind of on the opposite side.
Yeah, and since I'm basically near the ground, about to, pretty much being trampled on, I'm next to the door. There's snow outside. I'm actually going to use a key point to kind of shape all this snow into giant walls that just split right down between all these people, shut them to each side of the area, and creates basically
Whoa.
a hallway of ice. So I can stand up and help anybody else who's laying down back up to their feet.
Okay, and you're doing this basically a hallway to the door or a hallway across
Hallway coming from the door
into the room?
because I had to pull the snow from outside into the building and create this tunnel.
Okay. So as Azatoth and Pip, Tallies, are you going with them?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So as our three people outside have turned around and are coming back, you start actually see. I mean, there were a few people sort of milling around outside of it. A couple of people running from the blue clam and trying to get away. And all of a sudden, you see a very steady stream of people starting to come out in a much more orderly way
Oh,
for those
there-
folks.
No fight.
Let's see. How long is that likely going to be? How much? What do you, is it a volume or an area or what?
It's going to be about 20 feet long. Just
Okay, so it goes about almost
half.
halfway into the room. It goes almost halfway
Yeah.
into the room. Then yeah. Okay, so Cairo and Wise, you both see this kind of an ice arch suddenly appear, and so now it has moved the bottleneck into the middle of the room, where you've got a combination of people trying to escape and people just flat out brawling. What do you do? Cairo, what do you do?
I don't know. I think I'm just going to give up
Well,
on these sheep and sort of try and march out of the building.
Okay, so you are going to make your way over to that ice tunnel thing. Give
Mhm.
me an athletics check, please.
Just a moment.
And Wise, what are you doing?
At the moment, I'm going to stay where I am because I don't feel like getting into a brawl. Especially, I'm extremely outnumbered here. There's only one of me, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, okay, Cairo, you are large, you're tall, so you're able to see over the tops of most of these, and you're able to make a pretty direct path and get to the entrance of the ice thing. Okay, Landar, you're still working on helping, now that you've got people coming through, you're working on keeping them moving, I assume?
Yep, keeping them moving, get them out the door in a nice orderly fashion compared to before.
Tell them to move away from the door once they get outside? Okay,
Yep. Well, I assume they're all dispersing and running in random directions at that point.
okay.
Towards their homes.
People outside, seeing the people starting to come out and starting to fan out from there and yelling and shouting and anger and panic. And what are you guys doing?
I'll stand back and wait. There doesn't seem to be anything I can really do here. And if there's a bunch of people coming out of a single corridor, I'm not going to be able to fight my way through it.
That's tough.
I'm just gonna let out like a disappointed oh, then the fight's starting to die down.
Wow, I was actually kind of looking forward to it.
Okay, Pip. Give me a dex save.
What?
As a fleeing person come running by, kind of barrels into you on his way past in blind panic. Okay, you managed to. Do you have Roll20 open twice? You're getting
No.
two. Anyways,
It's clear.
or D&D Beyond open twice. Anyways, so you see someone barreling along in panic and just sort of running, and you're able to sort of nimbly step to the side and let them get past you
But that person's problem.
as the panic is going out there. Anyone want to ask how the meeting went?
Yeah.
I mean, have we seen
What?
Cairo leave yet, or?
No, you have not seen any of your folk yet. You've just seen panicked townspeople.
Should probably still head inside, right?
It's to wonder how these people can function as a town if a town meeting ends like this.
Okay, so Cairo, you make your way to the tunnel. Are you going to make your way through and out?
Yes.
Okay, so as you come up through the sort of tunnel thing, you come up to Landar. Landar, you're seeing Cairo come to, and you can see Cairo coming towards you before he gets to you.
And is Andwise still in there? Is he coming out?
I did not see him, but he's a stealthy fellow. I'm sure he's woven his way through the crowd and escaped by now.
Okay. Is there more people coming out from behind Cairo at this point?
Yes.
Okay, so it's still steady stream, or has it started to die down yet?
Yes, you've gotten about a quarter of the people out.
Is that all? Okay.
Well, about half of the crowd, and so what you can see, Andwise, is about half the crowd is just in a brawl. They aren't trying to. So half the people who were trying to escape have escaped at this point. It's only been 30 seconds, and half the people are basically just now in a brawl. They're just angry, frustrated, scared, and they're throwing punches. Speaking of which, give me a dex save.
Me?
You, Andwise. Okay, you managed to duck a wild board that someone is winging. They weren't aiming for you, but you were about to be hit, and you managed to see it and duck out of the way.
Oh no, they're tearing down the establishment.
There's always one guy. It's like a street fight, and then suddenly somebody pulls up a chair, somebody picks up a table, escalates from there.
So Landar's going to yell down the tunnel, last chance to get out.
Okay, and so some more people. Now you start getting kind of a crowd pushing in, and the people right in front of you are starting to get pushed faster than they are going, and are starting to stumble and fall.
All right. Well, this seems to be where I've gotten quite a few people out, and it's still nothing but a brawl in there. So I'm going to use another key point, and I just put 20 feet of ice into this building, and I'm going to turn it all to water, and we're going to flush out the inn.
Okay, so for the folks outside, you see Cairo emerge from the doorway amongst other people, and he's not rushing and panicked the way others are. He's just sort of coming out. And behind him, the shouts and all change to screams of startlement and surprise, and it's cold and it's wet, and wise, what you're seeing a lot of shocked people suddenly in the bathroom. The brawl is now over. They're all now they've been shocked out of it and are trying to sort of make their bearings through the water and trying to get this up out of the water, and they're more in survival mode. His wife comes through.
Seeing Cairo exit the building, Pip's just gonna start waving his arms. Hey, Cairo!
Let us leave these fools to their stupidity.
So did it go well? I'm gonna take that as a no.
How do you think?
Andwise, what are you doing?
I'm thinking about using the minor illusion before it goes away and just basically holler no more sacrifices again.
Oh my goodness. So this time when you do that, you get a couple of people pull up sort of the yell and start trying to get into that argument again, but it's only a couple of people, and the rest of the people have been sort of brought to their senses and are trying to make their bedraggled way out, or trying to head towards the door and then realize it's cold out there and are trying to look for a warm place in here, and are sort of milling about, not quite knowing where to go. But you do not get much of a reaction this time, other than a couple of people who now you use the minor illusion. Where is it centered? I assume it's not centered on you.
No, it's centered on where the speaker was sitting. Up at basically the table that he's at is where this is coming from.
Okay. So you've got a fight up there. So there's a fight of a couple of who've started the fight again right there at the table. You do not see the speaker.
There's a lot of chaos going on here, but this is nothing compared to some of the council meetings at Candlekeep. Like I've seen people throwing out fireballs, people dimension dooring out of the building to be able to get to safety. It was unreal.
Okay, Landar.
Still, You'd think that adults would be able to act with a little more civility.
You'd think.
Okay, Landar. So, what do you do as you've turned it all to water? Did you leave the building?
Yeah. I as I was exiting the building, that's when I turned everything to water because I wanted to flush it out and I wanted to get out the way because I knew that was going to be a lot of water. So
Yeah, it's quite a bit of water, and it's gonna spread out fast. So those outside see Landar kind of gesturing behind him and then kind of backing out of the way and then turning to look at you. It's like, oh.
the fight's over.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
Is
yeah.
it?
I mean, I'm sure Azatoth could probably round some other people up, but yeah.
Okay, Andwise, what are you doing?
Well, seeing that my fun has now been spoiled, I'm going to start heading towards the door. And
You're gonna go straight towards it, or you're gonna go around the edges of the building, the edges of the room?
edge of the room, I may actually go out a window if I come to a window first.
The windows are all boarded up. You're not coming up into much of the way of windows, so you're gonna get to the door. And it is cold, and you're getting a little bit, getting to the door, you're getting a little bit wet and all, and it's soaking in through your boots, and it's cold. But
That's fine. I'll just steal.
so as you leave the building, what do they see? What do your friends see? Andwise, what do your friends see as you leave the building?
All right. Yes.
Uh-oh. What are you up to now?
All
Okay,
right. As I leave, I basically want it to look like the water is like just repelled as it gets near me. I
Uh-huh.
want it to look like anything cold and wet is just like coming at me and then like immediately like deflects and goes somewhere else.
Okay.
And I want my appearance itself to appear. Oh, it's gonna get better. Appear completely fine. As we exit, I'm going to follow the edge of the building, but yet my silent image is going to continue to walk straight out through the crowd. And once I get off to the side, I want to go into stealth and disappear.
Okay, give me your stealth roll. So given
Here
that
it
it
is.
looks
This is
like
where
that
he
area,
puts it up.
so it looks like there's a clear space that's dry and has it away, and so a lot of people are trying to move into that space and are quite confused when they splash into that space. Okay. You don't appear to get you don't seem to be getting squished by anybody. Okay, so you guys are outside, and there are some people milling around, and some people have sort of fled, and some people are trying to go back in and try and it's like, oh, how are we going to clean this up, and what even happened, and so what does that mean about the vote, and what does that, and so there's a lot of chaos and loud chatter and all going on. What are you guys doing?
So, back to the inn.
Yes.
As soon as he asks that, I will agree, and I will say, hey, that sounds like a great idea, from behind them, as if I just walked up towards the inn that we were at, but I'm going to like stealth around behind him and then show up behind them.
Okay.
When did you get...
What are you talking about, Pip? I've been standing here the whole time.
Okay, and you guys head back, and there's, as you get further and further away from the Blue Clam, it gets quieter and quieter, but you hear the chatter and especially closer in, there's people peering out trying to wonder what's going on, what's going on, and there's a lot of talk, and that kind of stills down though as you get further and further out towards the east side. And okay, so you get back to the East Side Inn. You head up to your room.
No. We should look for the woman who's lost her ring with otters on it or something. Or lost it from otters.
That's right,
Or
her otter ring.
Fur line with otters on the side.
Her otter's
No,
ring
it's
got lost.
It's a ring in the shape of an otter, obviously.
Her pet otter's ring got lost, and she's looking for it. I think we got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't see, as you get back, you don't see anyone at the desk right away. Do you go looking for her?
I think we should ask. I'm
there's-
gonna ask the barkeep. That
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
like
yeah.
a good idea.
Okay. So you head inside, the woman who was doing the serving inside the common room?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so inside the common room, there isn't anyone really in there except for the woman who'd been doing the serving, and she seems to be doing some cleaning up tasks. And as you come in, she looks up and she says, I'm sorry, we're no longer serving right now. Do you need something specific?
Yes. There was a boy at the market square. He was standing on a box, yelling about like all the news and whatnot. He mentioned something about a woman losing a ring that had otters on it.
Oh, yeah. She's usually at the front end. She's probably upstairs though, taking care of her father at the moment. What did you want to know about that?
Well, is she staying in one of the rooms?
Well, she's the innkeeper. She lives here. She and her father live here.
Oh, she's got it.
I guess when you see her, just tell her that the group of adventurers in 5G are gonna look into the the disappearance of the ring, and if she has any information that might be helpful, to let us know.
Oh, okay. I don't know what you would know about her, where her ring went. I mean, you just got here, right?
Exactly.
But, okay,
that's why we
I'll-
want her to let us know anything that she can tell us that would help us find it.
I'll be sure to tell her. I'll be sure to tell her.
Okay.
Okay. And you guys then head up to your room,
Yes.
Yes,
and you
indeed.
find that Garrett and Perry Lou are both there. Perry Lou's right on the very edge of one of the
Frickin' better
beds,
be.
and she's got the blanket up over her head and all. Garrett was sort of sitting on the side, had a candle lit, and was reading in a book. And he looks up. He says, "Oh, you're back. Good. Did you get what you needed?"
Yes.
Then you may not want to leave for a while. There's a hefty brawl that's been going on outside.
A brawl in Termalaine? That seems unusual.
Oh no, it was a big one. They had like the entire place was going, and the entire time I'm like trying hard not to laugh about it because I knew exactly how it started, and yeah.
It's kind of a shame. I was looking forward to it because, I've never been in a brawl before, but I had this idea where I'd use my horns and I'd headbutt somebody. So
As a thought-
That's brawl-like behavior, definitely.
As a top, you should show Pip what a brawl looks like.
I look at him, and then I kind of throw my arms out to the side like I'm gonna tackle him, but I don't. I'm just flinching at him, see how he reacts.
Pip immediately hits the ground. Knocks back, wasn't ready, flails his arms around, and it just runs into something. It's very jumpy.
Well, now, Pip,
Okay.
now we know exactly how you'd react.
Okay. Anything else tonight before you settle down to sleep?
Yeah. Andwise, I see you've been taking to being using some magics lately. There's a spell that I have actually. I wonder if it's one that potentially you could learn with maybe a little bit of training, but it would be incredibly useful to someone with your skills. And
Really?
I cast invisibility
On yourself or on Nandwise?
on myself,
Okay. Nandwise, he disappears in front of you.
and then I start walking around in circles, like around him, talking to him. You see, the great thing about this spell is that you can, be entirely invisible. Although obviously, I'm sure you can still hear my footsteps. Obviously, you can still hear my voice and whatnot when I'm speaking. But you can't see me at all. I'm sure you can, with somebody as light-footed as yourself, could make a great use of it. Not a tremendously difficult spell to learn either. So I think with a little bit of effort, you could master it and make incredibly good use of it. It does have a slight. I start giving him sort of the ins and outs of the spell. Like, it does have a bit of a drawback that if you attempt to cast another spell or attempt to attack, it will break the invisibility, but it breaks, after you've performed the action, revealing you. But it's a really good way of being able to get the jump on somebody, or being able to just spend some time investigating things, getting places that people don't really want you to be, that kind of thing.
All right, as soon as he casts Invisible, I'm going to cast Mage Hand and have my hand circle around me a couple feet away, about as far away as he was. Just basically doing a circle, feeling for something to stop it from moving. That way I can find him, even though he's invisible.
Okay. You do that fairly easily because he's talking to you the whole time and using his
you
footsteps.
know exactly where I am because I'm talking.
Yeah, but you said you were circling around me.
Yeah,
So
so you hear my voice moving around.
Location. I just want an exact location. That way I know exactly where to stare while you're talking, as if you're still there and can be seen.
Sure. I mean, at the same time, as I'm walking around, I can feel your mage hand pushing against me. And I see you cast it, so I know you're casting spells. Mage Hand's not a spell that I ever learned. However, making it invisible is an interesting trick. It's not one that most wizards use. Mage Hand is a pretty simple spell, but making it invisible, quite useful. Anyway, food for thought. Maybe if we have some,
invisibility.
yeah, maybe if we have some time, I can give you a bit of a few pointers as to sort of the ins and outs of the spells, a little more detail, and help you on your way to being able to master it.
Okay.
Definitely a spell like that.
Anything else before you all go to bed?
Nope.
Okay. In the morning, how early do you guys get up and moving in the morning?
Lendar,
Go ahead.
Lendar usually gets up right near the crack of dawn, just to do his morning routines.
Dawn's at like 9:30 a.m.
Yes,
Short
as
winter day.
close to as early as daylight would get there to be able to do what I need to do.
Tali's he realistically, like, he sleeps as little as possible. If he can
Scribbling in
get
his book.
Yeah, he spends a lot of his time doing that. He kind of just zones out a little bit, so he often sleeps maybe just a little bit less than he should, but he he gets what he needs to be able to function. But yeah, he doesn't like to oversleep because there's always, his mind is just so active that he can't really stop. If he's got downtime, he spends it writing in his book. At the minute, he's currently trying to develop theories about how to potentially put invisibility on like a simple cantrip like a Mage Hand, and if it could be applicable to other cantrips like Firebolt and various things like that.
An invisible firebolt. Ooh. Okay.
pretty cool, right?
Okay. So then
But yeah,
the next morning, Garrett wakes up fairly early and has his stuff packed up, and he kind of looks at Landar. So, what's the plan here? How early are we leaving? Are you continuing with us to Targos?
Well, that was the deal.
I believe
Yes.
so.
Well, do we want to go to Targos or do we want to stay here and do the mine? Although the mine,
I thought it was.
50 gold.
Well, but we're also doing
I'm sure.
money in Targos too, so we could probably
Eh.
swing back this way.
Yeah, we could take these guys home, and then I don't think the mine problem's gonna fix itself. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Besides,
Especially not with these guys. If they can't even have a meeting without coming to blows, I don't think they're gonna go and
I'm
sort
gonna
out some
lean in
kobolds.
close to Andwise. Also, it might be good just to get out of town and offload their goods. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna look up at Azathoth with like a confused look on my face. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Honestly, we need to get Azathoth like a pinstripe suit and a trilby.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to take them home.
Okay. So I think that's where we will pick up next time then, is heading out of Termalaine towards home.
Yes, exiting Termalaine.
Mm-hmm.
Any difficult?
Let's see if you actually get out of town.
Oh no. That's the catch, right? Okay, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure you hit that follow button. If you haven't already, join us in the Discord. That's where we hang out through the week. It's where you need to be if you want to get involved in a game. And hopefully I see you tomorrow at 7 Eastern for the Lost Mines of Annihilation. It's going to be a good one. Thank you again, and